In this lesson, let's learn about Active Directory logical components. First of all, we will learn about the initial of an Active Directory forest, then the root domain, domain tree, domain container, organizational unit, and then we will give the full definition of an Active Directory forest. And finally, we will sum up the lesson with the keynotes. An Active Directory forest starts with a root DSE, which is the root of the directory data trees on a directory server. The root DSE is not part of any namespace. The purpose of the root DSE is to provide data about the directory. The forest expands with the first domain called the root domain. The root domain contains the configuration and schema data. Any new domains added to the forest will share the same schema and configuration data. A domain tree is a collection of domains that reflects the organization structure. The first domain in a tree is called the parent domain, and there will be only one parent domain in a domain tree. So in this forest, we have three domain trees. The first one is itlifeskills.local. The second one is training.local. And the third one is research.local. Currently, each tree has only one domain, and they are the parent domains. Any domains joined to a parent domain are the child domains of that domain tree. The child domains of a tree share the same namespace of the parent domain. For example, when we add the domain euro to itlifeskills.local domain, so euro is the child domain of itlifeskills.local domain, and it has the namespace as euro.itlifeskills.local. Similarly, when we add the domain Asia into training.local, so Asia is a child domain of training.local domain, and it has the namespace as asia.training.local. There exists two-way transitive just relationship between parent domains. So in this forest, there exists two-way transitive just relationship between itlifeskills.local, training.local, and research.local. And there exists two-way transitive just relationship between child domains with their parent domain. So in this forest, Euro has two-way transitive just relationship with itlifeskills.local, and Asia has two-way transitive just relationship with training.local. If two child domains on a different domain trees want to authenticate, the authentication traffic must pass through the parent domains like this. A domain is a security and administrative boundary for its objects, such as users, computers, and groups. Each domain has a domain security ID to identify itself. For example, itlifeskills.local has this as the domain security ID. Let's learn about containers. Containers are structural objects created by Active Directory installation. The first container is built-in. It contains built-in administrative groups that can perform system functions. The second one is computers. This is a default location for new computers that join to the domain. The third one is domain controllers. This is the default location for new domain controllers. The fourth one is foreign security principals. This holds proxy objects for security principals from other trusted domains. The fifth one is managed service accounts. This is a default location for new service accounts used to run services or applications. And the last one is users. It contains the administrator account and server domain groups. It is possible to add any new Active Directory objects to containers, but not try organizational units. For example, when we right-click on the user's container and try to add a new object, we will see the list of the objects that we can create in the user's container. As you can see, there's no option to create a new tri-organizational unit. It is not possible to apply GPOs directly to containers. However, containers can inherit GPOs assigned to the domain. So if we assign group policies to the domain, all the containers below this will be able to inherit the group policy. Organizational units, or OUs, are the smallest security and administrative boundary for its objects. It is possible to create multi-layers of OUs and assign GPOs directly to any OUs. OUs are usually created to serve the following business purposes. First is to categorize objects by locations or business functions to make it easier to locate an object. The second is to group objects by its types, such as users and computers, to assign the same type of GPOs accordingly. And the last one is to delegate permission to local IT staffs to manage the objects. Let's have a full definition for Active Directory forest. An Active Directory forest represents a complete Active Directory instance. An Active Directory forest must have a root domain which contains the configuration and schema data shared with all domains in the forest. A forest may be expanded from one root domain to multiple domain trees with thousands of objects depending on the business need. That's it. This is the end of this lesson. Please read the keynotes in the next slide.